Welcome to the deep dive. I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
So today our mission is to explore this profound, transformative concept. It's basically the ancient secret to letting go instantly.
Which is something I think literally everyone struggles with.
Oh, totally. We're pulling from this fascinating breakdown by creator Aaron Doughty, and we're going to unpack how shifting our relationship to attachment can, literally rewrite reality from the inside out.
It's a massive claim, but the mechanics behind it are solid.
Right. So to set the stage for this, I want you, the listener, to picture a Japanese cherry blossom tree.
Okay, setting the scene.
Yeah. It's early spring, and for exactly 2 weeks, this tree becomes just an absolute explosion of vibrant, breathtaking pink leaves. It's a stunning global phenomenon.
People travel from all over the world just to stand under those branches.
Exactly. But almost as soon as the bloom begins, those 2 weeks are up, the leaves fall, and the branches are completely bare for the remainder of the year.
Which, for a lot of us, the immediate temptation is to view those falling leaves as a tragedy.
Yes. You might feel this urge to rake them up, glue them back on, or somehow control the environment to make the bloom last just a little bit longer.
Trying to freeze time like that is a perfectly natural human impulse, even though it's physically impossible.
Right. But the fascinating thing is that in Japanese culture, that transience isn't seen as a tragedy at all. They don't try to control the environment or mourn the falling leaves.
They actively celebrate.
Exactly. The fleeting, temporary nature of the bloom is exactly what makes it so profoundly beautiful in their eyes. They lean into the transience.
Which is such a paradigm shift.
It really is. And that brings us back to our mission today, because that exact mindset holds the key to letting go of the things keeping us stuck.
Yeah, think about your own life for a second. Have you ever felt completely trapped in a rut?
Like maybe you're clinging tightly to a job you outgrew years ago, or a relationship that just drains your energy.
Or even just a rigid idea of who you quote-unquote should be.
We hold on so tight. We operate under this assumption that controlling the outcome will give us the safety or the happiness that we're craving.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, attachment is, at its biological and psychological core, pure resistance.
Resistance, right.
Yeah, we subconsciously operate under this deeply ingrained belief that if we can just control a situation or an outcome or another person's perception of us, we'll finally be safe.
We'll secure the resources or the love we need.
Exactly. But reality operates in the exact opposite way. Trying to control the cherry blossoms or anything in your life only pushes away the very thing you want.
Wait, really? It pushes it away?
Yeah, because when you remain in the energy of attachment, your nervous system is actually vibrating in the energy of resistance and scarcity.
Oh, wow.
You're broadcasting a signal that says, I am in danger without this specific outcome.
So you're essentially telling the universe, I lack this thing, so I must grip it until my knuckles turn white.
Pretty much.
But intellectually, most of us understand that clinging is a bad strategy. I mean, we've all read the self-help books. We know we shouldn't grip so tightly.
I know it, yeah.
So why is it so incredibly hard to actually open our hands and let go?
Well, according to the source material, the root of this struggle comes down to the illusion of inherent meaning.
The illusion of inherent meaning. Let's use a physical object to visualize how this works. Imagine a simple whiteboard marker sitting on a desk.
Okay, a marker.
If that marker rolls off the edge and falls onto the floor, you don't care. You don't have an emotional meltdown.
You might not even bother to pick it up right away.
Right. It's just a molded piece of plastic with some ink inside it.
The object is completely neutral. It holds zero emotional charge on its own.
But imagine that exact same marker was given to you by a beloved mentor who recently passed away, and they used it to sketch out the business plan that launched your entire career.
Oh, that changes everything.
Suddenly, if you lose that marker, you are devastated. You're turning your house upside down to find it.
But the physical object hasn't changed at the molecular level.
Exactly. It's still just plastic and ink.
Yeah.
The only thing that changed is the invisible, incredibly heavy backpack of meaning that you strapped onto it.
And that heaviness you feel, that is the resistance. The marker itself possesses absolutely no built-in meaning other than the narrative you actively generate and project onto it.
Everything in our physical reality is entirely neutral until we decide to put it on a pedestal.
And the higher the pedestal we build for something, the further it has to fall.
Yeah.
When we elevate an object or a job or a relationship, we inadvertently create a massive amount of fear around losing it. Our brain begins to view the potential loss of that neutral object as a literal threat to our survival.
Okay, let's unpack this because there is a brilliant analogy from Aaron Doughty's breakdown that perfectly illustrates how entirely fabricated this meaning is.
Oh, the movie one.
Yes, it involves the movie Toy Story. So at the beginning of the movie, the cowboy doll, Woody, is everything to the kid, Andy.
He's the favorite.
Right. Woody has prime real estate on the bed. He is the undisputed favorite toy. He holds all the meaning in Andy's universe. Then Andy's birthday rolls around, and he receives Buzz Lightyear.
Enter the spaceman.
Exactly. In an instant, Woody is tossed into the toy box. He is completely unimportant. Woody did not physically degrade. His plastic didn't change.
The attachment and the immense meaning were simply transferred from one piece of plastic to a completely different piece of plastic.
The human brain simply reassigned the emotional value.
It's wild when you think about it.
It is, because if meaning can be reassigned that easily, it forces us to ask a pretty uncomfortable question. Does anything in our lives actually have built-in importance?
Or are we just walking around carrying these exhausting heavy backpacks of meaning of our own making?
Exactly. And if we're constantly assigning fabricated meaning to external objects like markers or cowboy dolls, what happens when we examine the meaning we've assigned to the person in the mirror?
Oh, this is where it gets deep.
It really does. This brings us to a mind-bending concept rooted deeply in Zen and Eastern philosophy. The idea that, quote, there is no self.
It's a phrase that can sound incredibly abstract or, even a bit nihilistic at first glance. There is no self.
Yeah, it sounds like you don't exist.
Right. But it becomes intensely practical when you look at the underlying mechanics of how identity is actually formed.
To ground this in science, the source points to the phenomenon of dissociative identity disorder, or DD.
Which is a clinical condition where a person possesses multiple distinct personality states.
Yeah, and when a person with DD shifts from one personality to another, the changes aren't just psychological or behavioral, they are drastically, measurably physical.
That's the part that always blows my mind.
Same. Their mannerisms change. Their access to specific autobiographical memories turns off and on like a light switch. And even wilder, their physical biology adapts to the new identity.
Yeah, a person might shift personalities and the subtle color of their eyes will literally change.
Eye color.
I know. Or, in one personality, they might suffer from chronic debilitating back pain, and when they shift to a different personality, that pain vanishes within minutes.
The pain completely disappears.
Completely. Because the biological environment of the body has changed. The new identity doesn't possess the neurological belief system that supports the pain.
Wow.
The brain stops sending the pain signals because, as far as it's concerned, the person who had the back injury no longer exists in that body.
That's just an unbelievable demonstration of neuroplasticity and the mind-body connection. Your beliefs literally instruct your biology on how to behave.
They absolutely do.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, because it's very easy to look at an extreme clinical case like DDD and say, sure, their identity is fluid because of a psychological condition.
Right, an outlier.
Yeah. But for you or me, we wake up every single day and we just feel like us. We feel entirely static. So I have to push back a little here. I mean, I've been essentially the same person for my entire adult life. It feels incredibly reductive and honestly a bit dismissive to say my entire hard-won personality is just a fake costume that I'm stubbornly refusing to take off.
I get that. What's fascinating here is that resistance you feel to the costume idea is the exact mechanism that keeps the costume locked in place.
Oh, come on.
No, really, I know it feels confronting, but the self absolutely is fluid. What we call our fixed personality is largely just a collection of familiar attachments and well-worn neural pathways.
So it's just habits.
Mostly, yeah. We define ourselves based on an accumulated list of what we like, what we hate, our past traumas, and our future anxieties.
Okay.
And when we rigidly lock into that specific definition, we enter what ancient philosophies call a contracted state.
Yeah.
We become small, defensive, and highly resistant to any new information that contradicts the character we're playing.
So we trap ourselves in the costume to avoid the vulnerability of being undefined. Man, if we are inherently fluid, but we insist on playing a static, unchanging role, we generate profound internal friction.
Massive friction.
Which naturally leads us to wonder if our identity is just a fluid costume. Why on earth do we constantly choose to wear the ones that stress us out? Why put on the heavy, itchy, exhausting costume every single morning?
We put it on for safety. Or, well, more accurately, the biological illusion of safety.
Aaron Doughty actually shares his own personal story about this in the source material, right?
Yeah, he talks about how years ago he fully identified as a 9-to-5 job goer.
His daily reality was completely wrapped up in navigating toxic corporate politics, feeling perpetually unfulfilled, and doing exactly what he was told by middle management.
That was a costume.
Right. But he had this deep desire to become a passionate YouTuber and creator. To make that leap, he couldn't just change his LinkedIn job title.
No. He had to systematically let go of the thoughts, the daily emotional baselines, and the physical actions of his old corporate identity to allow the new creator identity to actually take root and take over.
He had to physically and emotionally vacate the old self to create a vacuum for the new self to occupy.
You cannot inhabit two entirely different realities at the same time.
So if you're listening to this right now, think about the default labels you give yourself. What costumes are you wearing every day?
Are you the group's people pleaser?
Are you the overgiver who always puts everyone else's needs first to your own detriment?
Or maybe you're on the complete opposite end of the spectrum and you wear the heavy badge of being hyper-independent and you never ever ask for help.
Those labels provide a massive aha moment when we look under the hood.
They really do. We tend to view behaviors like people-pleasing or hyper-independence as innate, unchangeable personality traits. We shrug and say, well, that's just how I'm wired.
But they aren't personality traits at all.
Nope. They are deeply ingrained survival strategies.
Survival strategies masquerading as personality.
Exactly. Think about the mechanics of the overgiver. You do not overgive because it's your soul's true static nature to be exhausted and resentful all the time.
I would hope not.
You overgive as a survival strategy to avoid the perceived threat of rejection. You do it to regulate your own nervous system in real time.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
If you can keep everyone else in the room happy and managed, your brain tells your amygdala that you are safe from being cast out of the tribe.
So we cling to these painful, exhausting roles because they offer what the source calls familiar energy.
And here's a fun fact. The word familiar actually shares a root with the word family.
Wow. So even if the role is incredibly toxic, it feels like home. It's a known variable.
Exactly.
Stepping out of the people-pleaser role means stepping out of that familiar biological home and into the great unknown.
Which is terrifying for the brain.
Because if you suddenly stop managing everyone else's emotions, you're going to feel a massive spike in tension. People around you might get upset because you changed the rules of the game.
But that tension isn't a red flag signaling that you're doing something wrong.
Right. That tension is the initiation. It's the necessary threshold you have to cross because the unknown is the only place where true change can happen.
Stepping out of those survival strategies requires us to boldly embrace the unknown and sit with that uncomfortable biological tension.
But your brain does not like the unknown.
Not at all. It views the unknown as dangerous.
Which brings us to the main weapon our brain uses to try and drag us kicking and screaming back into the familiar. Thinking.
Yes. The source material makes this incredible point that chronic thinking itself is fundamentally a survival mechanism.
When we overthink, we're usually doing one of two things, right?
Yeah, we're projecting our minds into the future, trying to predict and control an outcome that hasn't happened yet, which generates anxiety.
Or we're agonizing over the past, replaying old scenarios to see how we could have protected ourselves better, which generates guilt and regret.
In both cases, the analyzer mind is desperately pulling us out of the present moment to keep us safe from unpredictable reality.
The direct antidote to that overactive analyzer mind is what psychologists and athletes call the flow state.
The flow state.
Let's look at the Olympics, specifically figure skating, which the source brings up to illustrate this.
Great example.
When you watch a world-class figure skater launch into the air and land a quadruple jump, they are not consciously thinking about the mechanics of their body.
No, they aren't saying, okay, now I'll shift my weight to my left skate, torque my hips at a 45-degree angle, and pull my arms in.
If they actively engage their prefrontal cortex, their thinking brain, while they're spinning in the air, they fall.
They fall every time.
They only succeed when they bypass the analyzer mind entirely and surrender to the flow state. But wait, I have to push back again here.
Go for it.
How do we actually function in everyday society without thinking? Like, We have to pay mortgages, drive cars on busy highways, and navigate complex conversations.
Right.
Is the goal of this entire philosophy to just walk around with an empty head, completely oblivious to the world?
It's a vital distinction to make. The goal is absolutely not to lobotomize yourself or lose your cognitive edge.
Okay, good.
Thinking is a brilliant tool, and the prefrontal cortex is highly useful for practical logistical tasks like paying bills or planning a route.
So what's the issue?
The suffering doesn't come from the thoughts themselves. It comes from our deep, unconscious attachment to the thoughts. The trap is believing that every random, anxiety-laced thought that pops into your head is the absolute truth of who you are.
The thought happens, but we don't have to reach out and grab it. We don't have to strap the backpack onto it.
Exactly. When you learn to simply observe your thoughts, letting them drift into your awareness and drift right back out like clouds passing across the sky, you tap into a state of immense magnetic presence.
You stop fighting reality.
You do. And this mechanism ties directly into a concept popularized by spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle, which Aaron Doughty incorporates into his breakdown, the pain body.
Let's define the pain body for a second, because it sounds like a sci-fi concept.
It kind of does. The pain body is essentially an emotional addiction within our nervous system.
Okay.
It's that contracted, activated part of our ego that is literally addicted to the chemical rush of negative energy.
Like we're addicted to our own stress.
Exactly. The body gets used to a certain baseline of cortisol and adrenaline from constantly worrying. When things are finally calm and you're sitting on the couch relaxing, the brain feels a deficit of those familiar stress hormones.
Oh, wow.
So it manufactures a stressful thought about work or a relationship to trigger the pain body and get that familiar chemical hit.
It wants to control everything to avoid the stillness.
Yes. When you're frantically overthinking, you're actively feeding the pain body. When you drop into presence and just observe the thought without reacting, you starve it.
To stop attaching to every passing thought and starve that pain body, we have to neutralize the underlying engine that's driving all this frantic thinking in the first place.
Which is usually exhausting.
Yeah. And for most of us, that engine is a lifelong inner battle to prove to the world that we are, quote-unquote, good enough. It is the relentless fight for worthiness.
That's the core of it.
The source provides an incredibly clarifying way to dismantle this entire game. Think about a newborn baby. Is a baby worthy?
Obviously, yes.
Right. If I asked you if one baby in a nursery was somehow more fundamentally worthy of love and life than the baby sleeping next to it, you'd think I was a sociopath.
The very premise is absurd.
Totally absurd. But why is the baby worthy? Did the baby achieve something? Did it secure a high-paying job or buy a nice house?
No, the baby is worthy simply because it exists.
A baby does not possess the human intellectual concept of worth. They just are. So what does this all mean? It means this entire sliding scale of good enough versus not good enough is a completely fabricated metric.
It's a game we invented, usually based on childhood conditioning, and then spend our entire adult lives exhaustingly trying to win.
What if you just stopped playing the game entirely?
That realization is the ultimate release valve for the nervous system. You just drop the rope. You stop the tug of war. Let it be completely okay whether society deems you good enough or not good enough.
Dropping the fight to prove your worth creates instant, unbelievable freedom. It starves the pain body of the friction it needs to survive. Which logically leads us to another profound Japanese secret mentioned in the source material, the secret of newness.
This is one of my favorite parts.
To truly drop the fight for worthiness, you have to realize that you aren't permanently tethered to your past. There's a famous philosophical analogy about a river.
You've probably heard the ancient phrase that you can never step in the same river twice.
Because the water is constantly flowing.
At a molecular level, yes. By the time you take your foot out of the water and put it back in a second later, the physical water molecules have moved downstream. New water has replaced it.
It is literally, physically, a different river.
But humans do not treat life that way. We treat the river as if it's a static, unchanging block of ice.
And far worse, we treat ourselves as if we're static.
We drag the pain, the fabricated meaning, and the heavy identity of who we were yesterday into today. And then we wonder why waking up feels so incredibly exhausting.
Maintaining that dam to hold the water still takes all of our energy.
Every single moment, the water moves. Every single moment, you are a new you.
You are a new you every moment. It's a beautiful concept.
It really is.
But I know that intellectually understanding the river analogy or acknowledging that meaning is just a mental projection is only half the battle.
True.
Executing it when your nervous system is screaming at you is another entirely. How do you actually practically train your physical body to let go when your amygdala is desperately trying to control the situation?
We have to manually move our energy out of the intellectual analyzer mind and drop it down into the somatic physical body.
Somatic simply meaning relating to the body, distinct from the mind.
Right. And the source material provides a very specific physical practice for this called the frame technique, which is rooted deeply in Zazen principles.
For context, Zazen is a form of seated Zen meditation that focuses on suspending all judgmental thinking.
This technique is a way to biohack your body to feel safe in the present moment.
So if you're listening to this, here is how you practically apply everything we've talked about. You take a physical candle, light it, and place the flame about eye level a couple of feet in front of you.
Okay, got the candle.
As you take a slow, deep breath in, you focus your eyes entirely and intensely on the flame itself. You allow yourself to physically feel the localized space between your body and that specific flame.
You're establishing a highly localized anchor for your focus.
Then, as you begin your out-breath, you do not move your eyeballs, you keep them physically locked forward on the flame, but you shift your mental awareness to your peripheral vision.
So you're zooming out mentally.
Exactly. You expand your awareness outward to the edges of your sight, feeling a sense of oneness with the entire room around you. It's a continuous exercise of oscillating your awareness.
In breath, laser focus on the individual self and the flame.
Out breath, soften the awareness, expand to the peripheral vision, and connect to the whole.
This raises an important question. How does staring at a candle and shifting your vision actually rewrite your reality? It sounds almost too deceptively simple to work.
It does sound simple.
But the biological mechanism behind it is incredibly powerful. When you lock into a narrow, hyper-focused gaze, your brain associates that visual tunneling with hunting or threat detection.
It triggers the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response.
Right. But when you soften your gaze and expand into your peripheral vision, you are physically signaling to your brain's amygdala that there are no predators around.
You're manually activating your parasympathetic nervous system, which immediately lowers your cortisol levels and heart rate.
You're giving your analyzer mind a physical task, which puts it in timeout.
It bypasses the thinking brain entirely. Over time, this physical somatic detachment from the mind's endless chatter translates into a psychological detachment.
You stop needing to control outcomes or obsess over what other people think of you because your nervous system finally feels safe just existing.
It brings you all the way back to the core. So, to recap the journey we've been on today, we started by realizing that nothing has inherent meaning. It's all just neutral plastic markers and Woody dolls until we strap heavy backpacks of meaning onto them. We learned that the self is not a fixed concrete statue, but a fluid costume, and that the exhausting roles we play, like the people pleaser, aren't our true personality, but just biological survival strategies designed to keep us safe from rejection.
We explored how to bypass the heavy analyzer mind to access the flow state, starving the pain body of the stress hormones it craves.
And we saw why abandoning the fabricated fight for wordiness, just resting in the inherent value of a baby, brings instant neutrality to your life.
Finally, we practically anchored all of this abstract philosophy with the somatic frame technique, using peripheral vision to physically teach our nervous systems how to be safe and present in the unknown.
And I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over today, building on that beautiful metaphor of the river.
Oh, I love this one.
If you truly cannot step in the same river twice, and your identity in this present moment is entirely fluid, think about your memories for a second.
Yeah, neuroscience shows us that human memory is not a video recording.
Every single time we recall a memory, we physically pull it out of storage, alter it with our current emotional state, and rewrite a slightly different version back into our neural pathways.
The memory actually changes physically.
If the very past you rely on to define who you are today is just as fluid and constantly changing as the water in that river, who are you entirely free to become tomorrow?